From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Averi Haugesag.
And I'm Katy Wilson.
Today on the show, for many 3 meals a day are plenty. For others, 6 to 8 meals per day may be a necessity. We'll talk to a man whose normal food intake differs from most.
Also, the debate continues about how valuable the arts programs are in schools. We'll talk to an instructor at a school that embraces music as a teaching tool. But first, heading to local grocery stores is becoming more costly. Beef prices have reached their highest price in over 2 decades. The average price of ground beef has risen to $3.55 a pound. That is over 36% more than what it was in 2010. The cost of milk, butter, eggs, and fruit is also on the rise. The severe drought in California is to blame for the surge in prices. Experts say that prices could continue to climb in the next few months. While higher grocery costs may hurt, rising home prices are helping. The recent climb in home prices has helped over 2 million homeowners stay afloat. Realty Track, a company which monitors mortgage prices, says 9.1 million homeowners were in debt with their payments. The debt of their homes exceeded the house's value by over 25%. This number is down from 10.9 million homeowners from the previous year. The states with the highest percentage of mortgage debt are Nevada, Florida, and Illinois. Home prices are expected to continue to rise in the next year. A new study says that texting drivers are 23 times more likely to crash than an undistracted driver. They are also 6 times more likely to get in a collision over a drunk driver. Police officers say the most common form of distracted driving they see is the use of cell phones. The culprit of many crashes is texting and driving. Local police departments are cracking down on distracted driving by setting up campaigns. These campaigns enforce stricter penalties if caught distracted behind the wheel.
We're trying to do press releases, letting the public know that distracted driving is causing all these crashes and that we're going to be out there enforcing the new rules.
In North Dakota, the state charges a $100 fine if caught distracted while driving. Officers say the expensive fine was set up in place to ensure safety on city roadways.
The research on chronic inflammation has been on drugs. Scientists at the University of Minnesota are investigating foods. Their study published in the Nutrition Journal found oats may reduce post-exercise inflammation. The small grain contains a chemical compound that has anti-inflammatory properties. Inflammation usually occurs as a result of an injury or an infection. It is a health concern with longer life expectancy. Experts say chronic inflammation can lead to strokes, diabetes, and damage to the brain or to the heart.
The U.S. Department of Education requires no more than 40% of the coursework in the arts in secondary schools. Some schools and teachers emphasize the importance of arts for students.
This is Brad Sherwood, but these budding musicians call him Mr. Sherwood. He is one of the music teachers at Red River High School in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
I grew up in the system because if you go back to 1941, my grandfather taught music at Central High School.
Brad's father followed suit and taught for almost a quarter century in town. He retired the same year Brad started teaching.
While a lot of school districts keep cutting art programs, the music department in the Grand Forks Public Schools keeps growing.
Music education and the arts are what it's all about. We're a collective of all academic forces.
The Grand Forks Public School District was recently awarded one of the best communities for music education by the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation.
Have a sequential curriculum from kindergarten all the way through grade 6, where 100% of the students receive more than the state required number of minutes for music education.
Even though students are not required to take music after 7th grade, many do.
I get to go to choir. It's just kind of it's a release.
Grand Forks recognizes it, and I think the rest of the country needs to realize that we're making students brighter and better and achieve more, not vice versa.
They make us want to learn music. It's not a chore to want to come to these classes.
Mr. Sherwood has one hope for schools.
We swing back to what we understood in the 70s and 80s, that what we should be creating is a well-rounded individual.
Music teachers like Mr. Sherwood aim to create those individuals. With photographer Eric Nielsen Broadley, I'm Christiana Dogan reporting for Studio One.
The Grand Forks Public Schools is the longest standing recipient of the award. This year, for their spring musical, the Red River School Department of Fine Arts put on the show Pippin. And that's the news for now.
All right, thanks, Katie. Let's go now to Timm Uhlmann for the weather news. Tim, how's it looking?
Thanks, Katie and Avery. Well, if you woke up in Chicago on Tuesday this past week and you looked outside, you would see snow coming down. Many citizens are a little bit fed up with the late spring and these snowfalls that keep coming out of nowhere. Now, in Ohio, they also got some snow as a storm that was heading towards the East Coast managed to stay around long enough to put a couple inches onto roads and onto lawns, making travel conditions just a bit slippery. Winds following this snowfall were strong enough to knock over some trees that were now heavily laden with some wet snow. A little bit further towards the northeast, New York area also got some snowfall, as well as the Midwest here on the satellite and radar loop. A second storm just brought some snow towards the north and some rain towards the south. And if we look at exactly what caused this, just a little bit closer, this warm front here is what's going to decide whether you get snow or rain, as especially this time of the year, just a couple degrees is enough to change that snow into rain, and that can make it really difficult for forecasters to tell you whether your area will be in the rain region further towards the south or into the snow further north. Now, as you do get some rain as we head into the season, that could bring back one of those pests.
As warmer weather finally starts to show, so do the thoughts of swatting bugs. However, the delayed spring has a benefit to controlling the mosquito population.
We're probably the only ones that like to see cool weather this late in here.
Todd says that the colder temperatures have delayed mosquito eggs from hatching. However, the thought of giving a forecast for bug populations for the entire summer is out of the question.
No, sorry. You know, and like I said earlier, what I can tell you is the more rain we have, the higher mosquito population we're going to have. And you'll also notice the higher insect population we'll have.
Mosquitoes can be annoying and can be dangerous. Many diseases, including the West Nile virus, can be spread with just one bite. Todd says that the disease is preventable if repellents are applied and reapplied often. His main piece of advice is to just be smart.
So it's that last week of June all the way through September. I would wear repellents.
While it's easy to be bugged by the lingering winter, it does help delay the arrival of pesky mosquitoes. I'm Joe Hayden, reporting for Studio One.
Now, Todd urges you to remember that just because the number of mosquitoes in a particular year may be low, the chances that they carry a deadly disease such as West Nile can still be quite high. Now that brings us back to our weather question of the week. Which of the following causes the most fatalities in the United States? We have lightning, floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes. In Avery, it might not be the one that you immediately think of as the most destructive.
All right, thanks, Tim. Now we're going to head on over to Katy for a sports story. Katy?
Thanks, Avery. Typical meetings take place in a room with tables and chairs. In this organization, the meetings are run a little bit differently.
Some consider footbagging, aka hacky sack, a sport. But to this organization, footbagging,
I think I consider it a hobby for me personally because I don't play it competitively.
About twice a week, the Footbag and Hacky Sack Club meets for an hour or so to hack. Where they meet is almost anywhere on the University of North Dakota's campus.
In the face.
From the quad to University Park or just wherever there is a dry area. And the interest in this activity far extends beyond the Midwest.
I'm from California, and it's a taste of home, sort of. Like everywhere you go, everybody does it. Now I realize that it's not just California. Like, these guys are from Minnesota, North Dakota, and they've got huge followings.
Chris found a home away from home, even in the drastic climate change. And in joining the fellow footbaggers here at UND, it's even applied to their life outside of hacking.
Hand-eye coordination and foot-eye coordination, definitely a huge boost.
Almost swear that I've gotten out of not crashing my car because of the reflexes they've made me do, you know?
Their love for hacking also helps them get away from reality for a while.
It's just fun. It's a good way to pass the time with friends without getting into trouble.
People find many ways to relieve stress. For these college students, all they need is their feet, a small bag, and someone to kick it to. With photographer Katie Wilson, I'm Zach Worthy, reporting for Studio One.
To be part of the Footbag and Hacky Sack Club, all you need is the willingness to learn. With the weather finally getting warmer, they are now able to get outside more too. And that's our sports story for today's show. Avery?
I have to tell you, Katie, my foot-eye coordination is not very good, so I'd probably be pretty awful.
Well, that's okay. They're looking for beginners and they're willing to teach you.
All right, thanks, Katie. For someone who works a normal day job, getting time into the gym can be difficult. We'll talk to a man who has to get to the gym at least twice, if not 3 times a day. That's next.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
North Dakota is facing challenges in healthcare delivery. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences is building a place to help meet the state's healthcare needs. In addition to a new structure, we're also building interaction between healthcare professionals while building a workforce through expanding class sizes. We're inspiring our youth to engage in healthcare careers and exploring ways to reduce disease. It starts here and ends here, building a better future for North Dakota.
At the University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, classes have real-life application. Mentors guide students. Our work improves quality of life by answering tough questions with creativity and innovation. The University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, training tomorrow's engineering and geology experts today.
The University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration, connecting vision to innovation.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
Six to 8 meals a day, 3 trips to the gym, and daily weigh-ins are normal for some. So is ordering nothing but a plate when you go out to a restaurant. Competitive bodybuilder Eric Hagen is here to tell us about his training and time getting on the stage. Thanks for being on the show with us today,
Yeah,
Eric.
thanks for having me.
So what made you want to start bodybuilding?
I just missed the rush of competing. I had a short career playing football at Moorhead and UND, and once I ended it, I missed competing and I missed doing that. So I missed a healthy lifestyle and I decided to get into the gym and get back to it.
Okay, now I understand that there are a couple different types of bodybuilding. What type do you do?
I do physique.
Okay. And what does your schedule look like then?
During contest prep, it starts early, usually about 5:30 in the morning. I start with a cardio for about 45 to an hour, and then I got my school and I got to fit in my meals. I eat a meal every 2.5 hours, and then I end up back at the gym probably about 7 o'clock at night, get a full lift in, and end with another cardio.
So how do you balance this with school and if you have a job and things like that?
This actually made schooling better for me because it made me have to fit school in. So I'd usually kind of make it like a work day. I go to school from 10 to 1. I'd study from 1 to 3, and then I had the rest of the day to focus on training.
So what kind of things do you eat then if you have to eat every 2.5 hours?
During contest prep, it's pretty slim. It's usually chicken, natural peanut butter. In the morning I get eggs and oatmeal, but it's usually chicken and peanut butter, as little as that sounds.
So I've done some research and I understand that you guys have kind of a day off where you don't have to eat chicken and peanut butter, I guess. So what is a cheat meal? What is that?
It could be as little as, just having a steak and potato from a restaurant, just having someone else cook your meal for you. Or it can be as big as, going out and having pancakes and eggs and hash browns. I usually stuck to a steak and potato when I got closer to the show. but otherwise I usually had a nice carb refeed, and that's where you eat a lot of carbs throughout the day. Pop-Tarts and cereals and pancakes and
The
stuff
good
like
stuff,
that.
kind of.
Yeah, the enjoyable stuff.
So who kind of made this nutrition and this fitness plan for you?
A couple guys at the gym, 2 of the owners from Ironworks, Adam and Paul, they helped me a lot with my training. And Tom Seidel, who is a known bodybuilder around town, he really gave me a lot of good advice on dieting and lifting, so I owe a lot of it to those guys.
So as far as eating goes, do you just eat natural foods or do you also use some supplements too?
Yeah, well, I mean, supplement is kind of a known thing for bodybuilding. You know, you got your proteins and you got your fish oils, your vitamins, your animal packs. I mean, the list goes on. You could take a lot of things, but you know, if you're eating right and you're eating enough protein through your foods, you really don't need to supplement that much.
Are they expensive?
It gets pricey.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you try order online or, you know, just get the cheap no-name brand protein. It's all the same. I mean, it's the name.
Okay. So what do you do when you go out to eat? I mean, if your parents are wanting to take you out to dinner, what do you do?
I usually try to neglect that. But I mean, if it's someone's birthday or something, I mean, I remember one time I had to order just a plate. I had to bring my own, I brought my own meal from home and I just put that meal from home on the plate at the restaurant and ate it there. It's kind of embarrassing, but I mean, you do what you got to do if you're competing.
So I know that you started bodybuilding because you used to play football and you kind of wanted to stay fit, but why do a lot of other people bodybuild? You know, someone who might be in their 30s or 40s. Why would they do it?
It's a healthy lifestyle, you know, and a lot of people just like looking good like that. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the only reason why, but a lot of people feel that thrive, that rush from lifting weights, and they just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah. Now you said you've been in some competitions before, am I right?
Yep.
Can you tell me where those were and how you placed and all that?
I took my first show, it was in October, and I took 6th in that one. But I think it was 18 or 19 guys, so I felt pretty confident about that. I wanted to place higher
some
though.
Pictures too, I think they've got. Is that one from one of your competitions?
Yes, yep, that was from my most recent show. That was in the cities.
Okay, very cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
I took 3rd in my show in Fargo, which is the best I've ever done. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And then I had a show in the cities, which was a lot more competitors, a lot tougher. I took 4th in that show. So I've done pretty well. I'm hoping to do better next time.
So how do you prep the day before the show? I mean, I know when people run marathons and that kind of thing, they don't necessarily run the day before. What do you do?
Well, it could be as stressful as you want it to be, or it can be as relaxing as you want it to be. As long as you make your registration on time and get your weight and height checked in, you're pretty much fine. It's really a relaxing day, so as long as you're eating your meals and keeping on track with what you need to do, it's usually pretty easy.
Now, I assume competitions are really strict, so what kind of things do they have you wear?
Well, it depends. For physique, it's board shorts, you know, so shorts you'd wear on the beach. The only thing you really have to watch out for is you don't want them to be, you know, if you're size 32, you don't want to wear a size 32 because obviously you're smaller than you were. So you want to make sure that they fit you right.
Yeah. So what do they do for you at the competition? Do they do anything to make you look better in the lighting or anything like that?
Spray tans.
A lot of spray tan?
Yeah, and everybody makes fun of me about it because like, why are you so dark? And it's like, well, I really don't have that choice, you know?
Yeah.
You pay to get your spray tan. You usually get one the night before and the morning of.
You look pretty thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do you see your career going after this?
You know, I'm kind of just going to go with the flow. I mean, I love doing it. It's enjoyable. It's something that makes me happy. So I'm just going to keep competing, and if something comes from it, awesome. If not, I'm still going to enjoy doing it.
Are there competitions coming up in the future then?
There's 2 more coming up within the next couple months. I'm considering doing one at the end of May. Kind of see where I'm at in a couple weeks and see if I'm going to do it or not. It's not something I'm commit to, but it's something I'm looking at doing.
Will you stick through it through the summer and stuff then too? All the dieting and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be as strict, but I'm going to keep up with it.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the show with us today.
No problem.
Eric. Coming up, some artists need hours and hours to labor over a piece. We'll watch an artist who can create in minutes in just about any canvas you provide.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
It's not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
Some consider graduation the end of the college experience. For others, it's just the beginning.
And the university provided an environment where I could grow.
Many years after I graduated, I'm still receiving dividends from my experience as a student at UND.
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association is committed to growing the university by growing the alumni family.
At the University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, classes have real-life application. Mentors guide students. Our work improves quality of life by answering tough questions with creativity and innovation. The University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, training tomorrow's engineering and geology experts today.
Admire the faculty. They're the ones that kind of helped push me through this.
Courses are hands-on and interactive. The communication program has so many different facets to it. One of the great things about the staff in the communication department is that they love what they do. They encourage you to really critically think and analyze everything you're learning. They're so into it, and it makes you want to be into it.
If you would like to attend a live show, go to our website at studio1.und.edu.
Artificial intelligence is the process of using computer systems to perform regular human tasks. In the new film Transcendence, Johnny Depp plays a scientist who pushes the boundaries of ethics and technology. He works to create a machine that is equipped with all human emotions. His experiments cause a lot of attention along with controversy, especially when he becomes the test subject for his experiments.
I think that this film will force people to ask questions, of themselves and, what they believe.
The filmmakers sought to make it seem as inspiring and futuristic as possible. While much of the story is about technology and its advancements, producers wanted also to focus on the personal relationships that were risked. Transcendence opens in theaters Friday, April 18th with a PG-13 rating. The letter grade system in schools could be on its way out. A recent move has been made to get parents more in tune with their kids in the classroom. The new assessment methods provide more descriptive feedback about students. That means describing specific areas that they're doing well or ones that they need improvement. This alternative grade system aims to promote better learning practices in schools. We wanted your thoughts on the new idea for an old grading system.
I think it would be better because if the child is having a problem, they're going to be able to catch it.
So it's really important, I think, that you also have the words to back up any even letter grades or number grades.
I think sometimes you need that grade point average if you're going into high school and on to college and grad school.
It would be kind of different. You really wouldn't know what to do. You'd probably well, what's my grade? I think it's something that they maybe need to look at and review, because the ABCD grade system is, I don't know if it actually works anymore the way it goes. And
I think they should keep the ABC system and still add the paragraphs. I think they should do both.
Keep the grades. I'm old school. That's a way to measure, that's a way to measure how you're progressing.
A comment from our Facebook page from Lori from St. Michael, Minnesota says, having gone through this, I have learned the more complicated the process, the less effort some put in. I'm not saying all teachers would do this, but I'm pointing out what I've witnessed. Alex from Otsego, Minnesota says, why change something that has worked for so many years? Keep it simple. People understand the letter grades.
Spray paint and graffiti art is usually found on abandoned buildings and boxcars. We met a man who sprays his art on just about anything.
Hats, beanies, and t-shirts clutter many a closet in homes. But for Sam Melquist, they all look like a canvas.
Worked on fabric, leather, denim, cotton, canvas, wall murals.
What started out as a great talent and hobby has turned into a profitable passion, even though Sam needed a push.
Dude, you need to do something with this talent. So I started talking about what kind of business he could do, and he started with doing just portraits. And then somebody asked us to come and do a figure skating tournament with the beanies and t-shirts.
Art often requires a steady hand. Some of the orders he gets might demand something else.
I'll pull it up on my phone and paint from that, which is what I'm doing now. But when you have some stuff, I'll cut out a stencil for it.
Sam gets many different orders during the course of a day. Most of the orders are regular, but others...
And they were big UND fans, and so they wanted a gopher on the inside of their toilet bowl. I'll let you figure that one out for yourself.
The brushing is precise, and the customers leave with nothing but satisfaction. Sam even plants a seed of inspiration here and there.
Art's my favorite subject in school.
You want to become like Sam when you grow up?
Yes.
So even with canvases everywhere and endless possibilities...
So did you go home last night and draw like you said?
Sam always has time to spare for the future artists. I'm Eirik Nelson Brotley, reporting for Studio One.
Gas tanks, helmets, and bedroom walls are among the other things that Sam can paint. He showcases them on his website at upnorthairbrushing.com.
You know, that's actually a very unique talent to have. A lot of people aren't very good at painting and art and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And the precision that he can have with that air and whatnot. I remember having those sorts of things as a kid and getting them with my friends, and it was just really neat.
Yeah, you can get those t-shirts at fairs and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So. All right, well, thanks, Katie.
Of course.
Now Timm is going to join us in our studio with a final look at the weather. Timm?
Thanks, Katie and Avery. Earlier in the show, we were talking about how there was that winter storm and they got snowed on the East Coast. Well, the good news is for the upcoming week, it's going to be warmer than average for everybody from the south to the north central plains. Just a cool spot in the northeast and in Florida. Precipitation-wise, it'll be wetter than average in central Texas and along with the west coast and towards the northern plains. Drier than average for Florida and the southeast. Which of the following causes the most fatalities? The weather question of the week. And the answer is actually B, floods. Now, most of these casualties could be prevented as it's people hiking and getting caught in a flash flood warning, or people seeing moving water and still trying to drive through it.
All right, well, thanks, Timm. Now that's our show for today. As always, you can follow us through social media or get more information on our website. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.
We look forward to seeing you next time.